Okay, we're honored to have a guest speaker at this reunion, which I'll have introduced here in just a second. So uh, we hope everybody can stay for this very interesting um, speaker. So to introduce our speaker, I have Dan Carter to make the introduction.
Hi there. Thank you, Bob. Well, I have an introduction to make. I have a couple of items here to read, but guess what? I'm only going to read one of them. Is that okay? Alrighty. This is about his book. He's written a book recently. I think it's maybe been 6 months or maybe a little bit more on that. This is from the Amazon website. His book's for sale on Amazon and also at the Texas Wendish Heritage Museum. What I'm going to read now is a comment that someone made about this book. It says, whether you are just beginning your geological research of your Wendish roots or have been working on it for years, you need this book. Nowhere else will you find such complete, concise, and handy information about the Wendish families that came to Texas in the 19th century. It will become your go-to reference anytime you need to refer to your ancestors from Lusatia. And this fellow, he told me yesterday that he was going to show up dressed like a broshka, and I don't even know what a broshka is. Is there anyone here who's dressed a little funny? Oh, wait, oh, there he is. Well, this is Weldon Mrziowski.
Thank you, Dan. It's been my pleasure for the last 4 or 5 years to work with Dan Carter and Tanya Hetler on a project called the Wendish Research Exchange. It's on the website, and we have accumulated a wealth of ethnic culture information along with family information if any of that interests you. But I am here to talk about broshkas. But first of all, I wanted to introduce it in this way, that the Wends came to Texas for 3 reasons, we like to say. One is to preserve their faith, one to preserve their culture, and the other one to preserve their language. Well, we kept the faith, lost the language, and we're still working on the culture. So 1.5 out of 3 is not too bad, is it? But it's my self-appointed job to try to save a little bit of the culture of our Wendish ancestors, and that is associated with what a broshka is. It has changed over the years since our ancestors came to Texas, but what you see in my outfit is what people in Germany would wear who were broshkas. They were the wedding planners. They were the people who would negotiate the bride price. They would meet with the bridal couple and pray with them and sing songs and lead them into church. Pastor would do his job. Then they would lead them out of church, go to the wedding party that lasted 3 days and hold sway over the wedding party, keep the people entertained during all that time. And this is what they wore. We don't know what they wore when they came to Texas in 1854, 55, 56. But I can tell you that if they wore something like this, they didn't wear it long. I think it was as hot then as it is now, because I've been translating some letters that were written to the Gittings-Deutsches Volksblad in the early 1900s, and all you read about is the heat. Es war trocken. Wir wischen Regen zu haben. That's all that you read about. So it was hot then and it's hot now, so what's changed? What we wear has changed. So what I think happened is that these kinds of outfits just gradually deteriorated and nobody wore them anymore. But in looking through wedding pictures from around the turn of the century, up until maybe the 1920s and 30s, you'd see this bridal party. Everybody was wearing black. Well, we know that. I mean, brides wore black wedding outfits. Guys wore black suits. Everybody wore black. But there was a couple of guys who would have on their suit and their black felt hat, but they had white aprons over their suits. those people were the Broshkas in Texas. Go to your old picture books, your parents' picture albums, and look at the early wedding pictures that you have, and see if you can find somebody, two guys, usually there's two guys, sometimes one, but they're standing with the wedding party with a white apron on. I've even seen as many as three. In some pictures, they may be pouring beer from a pitcher into a glass, or maybe pouring wine into a glass. And that's what their job was to make sure that the party kept going. And what I'd like to encourage you all to do is to look for those pictures. But when you find those pictures of people in white aprons, go get your own white apron. And if you want to, you can have the word Broshka printed on it. And wear it when you have a party at your house. In the word Broshka occurs one time in the Wendish Bible, and that's at the wedding of Cana. And the Broshka is the governor of the feast. When Jesus said, "Take this wine to the governor of the feast," when he was speaking in Wendish, he said, "Take it to the Broshka." And the Broshka then said, "Well, you know, this is the best wine of all. Usually we drink the good wine first and save the bad wine, but y'all drank the bad wine first and save the good wine to the last." So when you have your parties at your house and you're wearing your white apron, and people ask you, "Why are you wearing your white apron?" Well, you can tell them the story of the Broshka, and that you're the governor of the feast, and that your job is to make sure that the good wine gets drank first. So, do I have your support on that? Are y'all all going to be Broshkas? Or drink the good beer first like we had today? That's the essence of my presentation. I'm open for questions if you have any, but I won't stand up here too long. Any questions? All right, well, y'all have been a very attentive audience. Oh, I got a question over here. Oh, Walmart. White. Walmart's got green and red. White, yeah, white apron, with or without pockets on the front. It doesn't matter, you know. But you get a white apron, and then you're the so-called head of the house, you know. But anyway, yeah, good question. Good question. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Okay. Z like in zebra. Okay. B like in boy. R-A, S like in Sam, C-H-K-A. Now, if you want to do it in Wendish, it's B-R and then an S with a corona on top. The corona on top looks like that. It's the rabbit ears. Yeah. B-R-A, S with that funny thing on top, up the a V. B-R-A-S K-A. The S with the thing on top is actually the SCH sound in Wendish. But you can do it either way. If you're in Texas, it doesn't matter. Just spell it all out. That way people won't ask you what it... If you're a Czech, you could maybe figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, do that and then have some fun with it and keep the culture alive. We're trying to save the culture, folks. Anybody know any Wendish words? I don't know one. Bojame. See you later.